Welcome back. And to all you people doing it right, well done. To all those people who are
Yes.
not sure if you're doing it right, I'm sure you are enough. This
Yeah,
is fine.
you
This
are.
is fine. Everything's fine. Relax.
It's 2025 now. You can just do whatever you want. There's literally no rules. They're all out the window. So
Just vibes.
that's just vibes. No rules, just vibes.
Ladies and ladies, we have Alley Buscemi from Raleigh, North Carolina. She's a realtor. She's your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. She's a mom of two. She runs a team. She's a badass bitch. You've probably seen her on social media. Welcome back, Allie. We're going to jump right into where we left off last week.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Medeiros.
And I'm Colleen Hungerford, and this is We're Doing This Right, right? Podcast for the whole woman, mind, body, soul, and business.
It's humor infused, as real as it gets, inspiring, and you'll walk away with real usable tools for life and business.
If you love what you're hearing, please share with a friend, subscribe so you'll never miss an episode, and rate and review whenever you listen.
So find your earbuds, lace up your walking shoes, or cozy up with a beverage of your choice. It's time to dig in.
Yeah, definitely discounted. Everyone's like, everyone, call everyone you know. And I'm like, hey, Mom,
Yeah, what do I know?
you need a house? Okay, who do I call now? No?
Finish
No?
that list.
Okay. And so I had to do some weird scrappy shit to like get the ball rolling. And, COVID didn't help me. Like that
Right.
happened as soon as I got licensed, basically. Like shortly thereafter, it started. And if you already had momentum, you killed it. But if you didn't know
Right.
a soul and you were trying to build an SOI, how do you do that when you can't leave your house for 2 years?
Right.
So
It's funny when they're like build
yeah,
they're like call your sphere when you're, new and you're like, cool, I don't have one. So
and not to mention and then I was all self-conscious because like I'm not from here, you know,
yeah.
and
Yep. Yep.
there's that kind of vibe. And
Yep.
then there's the thing, oh, all these relocators ruining our city, so I had to like, I've
So
just
tell us some
recently
of the
gotten over that mentally.
tell yeah, tell us some of the scrappy things that you did. Like how did you
The
overcome some
weird
of those
scrappy shit I
things?
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to hear
Well,
please.
about it.
I mean, some of them are like the good old fashioned stuff. Like I still worked open houses, risked my life
Mhm.
working open houses in COVID. But I also did things like I would scour all of the Facebook local groups, like the moms groups, the
Yep.
local groups, anything, anyone, Reddit, anyone asking questions about the area that seemed like they might be relocating. I kind of perfected how to get them to talk to me. And it's not just
Mm.
like pitch slapping them in the comments
Mm-hmm.
right out the bat. You have to slide into their DMs and you can't
Mhm.
just shoot your shot. You have to ask them questions and get them to talk to you. And you have to get them to keep the conversation going. And you have to get their email and you have to, by telling them you're going to send them something, and you have to keep them talking to you by never giving a statement, by always having the last part of your statement be a question. And I learned that by like getting enough people like ghosting me and like how can I get people talking to me. So that was like what my very first deal came from, was like just finding it in the internet. And I am pretty good at talking to people on the internet. I've made a lot of friends as I've moved on like internet forums over the years. Like my
Yeah, all
maid of
those
honor
message
I
boards.
met on, yes, like my maid of honor is a message board friend from my
Oh my
wedding,
God, I love it.
like from a fish message board. Like so like I'm
Fish?
good at communicating. Yeah, like the band.
Like the
I'm
band.
good at
Oh,
communicating. Um yeah,
it's like you
cod,
gotta you gotta
salmon.
think for seafood I don't know about. Because I used to
She
work in
loves
direct fab,
fishing.
so we might have that in common.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, so I'm good at communicating digitally like that. So that was one of my pillars, if you will. But I also would leave notes on people's windshields with my business card in it.
Yes.
If they had
Oh
a
my God.
bumper sticker of a band that I love, and I would
Oh my God,
scour
of
the
it.
Whole Foods parking lot. Like that was my kind of
Hell
door knocking.
yes.
Like
my God, I
I'd
love
scour the
that.
Whole Foods parking lot for like hippie bumper stickers, like Fish, Grateful Dead, whatever band, and I would be like, hey, and write this little card. I wrote it a bunch of times, put my business card in it, put it on their windshield, and I got closings from that. Like people would save them and call me like 6 months later. Like it
Oh my
worked. It really
God.
did work. Because I
I'm
was
gonna
just
start doing
trying to
that.
find ways to, yeah, do it. You try to find ways to connect with people other than, can I sell you a house? So that was my
Right.
way of connecting with people. And honestly,
Right.
I did that at the Compass event, like at retreat. Like I showed up at retreat and I wore like a Grateful Dead sweater. And anyone who mentioned it to me, I wrote down their name and I sent them a gift with like a little Steely sticker, which was like part of that world,
Yep.
and wrote down, because it's like it gives you something to connect and bond over, because those bands are very much cult things. And if you're into a cult thing like that, like it could be like an alumni thing. Some of those are
Mm-hmm.
culty. Or if you're into any subculture that's culty,
Yep.
find them and sell
My
to them.
brother-in-law is a fish head, like total fish person. My sister
Yeah.
was the Dave Matthews, like went to every concert up and down the state, and my godparents were Deadheads. Like I went to
Yeah.
Grateful Dead concerts when I was 9 and 10 with them and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
so those
It's a culty
cultures are
thing.
so, but it's also like, it's so smart. Like, this is the thing that I think differentiates people who are really good at sales or really good at what they do, when they can connect with people and they understand how to connect with people on these different levels. What does the Grateful Dead have to do with real estate? Fucking nothing, right? Except for that at some point that person's probably going to have to buy or sell a house or know somebody who will. So when people, like, I've had my team member Nicole ask me, like, well, how do you like, do you just say like, hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? And we're like, no, you really just have to find something that you can connect with people. They have to like, you find the different things, like, oh, everywhere I go, it's like, I talk about ninja selling all the time, but it's like the ninja selling thing where you're asking those forward questions and you're asking them about themselves, or you're noticing what they're wearing. This was like the big thing that I was telling somebody about. I was coaching somebody, like a friend of mine, on like how to go to networking events. And I was like, oh my God, just find somebody who you like part of their outfit and go up and say, I love your outfit. Tell me where you got those earrings. And then they'll just start talking to you, because those are like, that's how you make connections with people.
Well, when I was
People
cold
want to
calling for
feel
12 years,
special.
yeah, you walk in and you see the picture on the desk, you see the book on the desk, you see the thing that they care enough to like put up in their office, and then you connect on that. And I think that's honestly how I got the job, because that insurance job I had, it was 12 interviews to get the job. They had a binder this thick on me by the time I was done with the interviews, 10 reference checks. It was insane.
Wow.
So I'm interviewing with like the DOFO, I think is what it's called, Director of Field Operations. And it's my last interview to get the job. And I walk in and I'm sitting and I was like, oh, you have the Outliers book. I love Malcolm Gladwell, just connected. And the way I did it, he was like, okay, she'll be able to walk in and like make that connection with people, because I'm observant, I'm looking around the room, I'm finding the thing to connect with. And I feel like my subculture right now, and probably you guys too, is like the mom scene is such a powerful culture to be connecting with people on. And it's like now the Facebook mom groups, and like you kind of just expand your network there and at all the child events and all those things. But looking at Deadhead bumper stickers is way more fun.
I just, every day I was just like, how can I connect? Like connect, because like at the end of the day, like moving is like, it's such a person. It's not like a product, like a rug or a car. Like it's just so personal, this process of moving your house. Like it's just so scary for people. Like it's so vulnerable. Your life savings is on the line. They're doing, their whole family has to, it's a huge life event that you have to connect. Like connect is the word. Like you are the product. You, the realtor, are the product, not the house. And you're just trying to connect with them as a human, and you just that's the bottom line. So I was just trying to do that basically however I could.
And I feel like you pivoted from like being being the person, well, and I know you combine the two, but being the person that was reaching out to people and initiating the conversation to let's get to your social media world is you live kind of out loud, and you're a person that's easy to connect to on your Instagram, your TikToks, the stuff you're doing there. And then you also take it one step further. Like, I feel like so many realtors right now, the focus is on like the content creation, which you do, but then what do you do every time you get somebody that DMs you or somebody new that follows you? Like, what's your path there? Because I know you continue the connection. So tell us about that.
I do get a bunch of business on there, and it's been a trial and error sort of thing to learn how to do that. Because I remember like the first time I made like real estate-y Instagram content, I spent so much time making this graphic about like a market update, here's the market, average price point, blah, blah, blah. And I made it on Canva, and like I waited till all the new data came out on like the first of a new month. And, and I spent so much time on it, and I posted it on, the second day of the month. And, like 2 people liked it, like my mom. No one cares is what I learned.
No one cares.
I spent so much time on it. And like, that is what I learned about like this straight real estate, like data stuff, is no one cares. And then I post like a dumb selfie of me in like a nice kitchen or like anywhere. And then that gets a ton of engagement. And I was like, okay, I pretty quickly learned that like people just want to see me. They want to see the human. And it doesn't have to be perfect and doesn't have to be polished. And I do have some nice professional polished content because I have a big bank of that for days where like I don't have something to post or I just don't know what else to do. I can pull from this Google Drive of like nice pics. But that's really the only reason I have it, is so I can have something to pull from. It's not all polished, and it's not all out in a calendar, and it's not all, and I get pitches all the time at people who try, oh, let me manage your social. You get so much time back if I can manage your social, and we could get it all out in a content calendar. But like that, it's too stiff for me like that. I have, like I said, I have professional pictures. I'll do like a photo shoot or 2 a year so I can pull from that when I don't have anything else to post. But in general, I'm just really trying to just be myself and not be like realtor robot on Instagram. And the reward of being myself on Instagram is that when people reach out to me, they already like me. They already feel like they know me. And I'm getting, the leads are so warm because they already like me. And it's so nice, like they already know I'm a little weird, and they already know I'm funny, and they already know my creative background, and that's what they like about me. So they've already picked me. The times where I have to like interview, I'm always like, oh, okay. Like I'm down to interview, and I'll still go do my pitch and throw my hat in the ring, and I'm down to still go fight for it. But it doesn't come up that much anymore. Like most of the time, especially if it's from in social media, like they've already watched me for a long time, and they're like, hey, this is a little awkward. It's not awkward, by the way. Come on out and do it. But they always say that. Like, this is a little weird, but I've followed you for a while, but I want to sell my house and get a different one. Can you help? I'm like, yeah, girl, let's do it.
And are you engaging behind the scenes as well?
Yes.
Talk about that, because I think that's important too.
I am footloose and fancy free in DMs. I am replying to everyone's stories like you are my best friend. I am like, it doesn't even take me 2 glasses of wine to be replying to your DM, to your story, like you are my damn bestie. If I think your story's funny, I'm like, haha, blah, 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 blah.
That's so real though, right? It. Like, I think that's the difference and there's a lot you talked about that I also missed because apparently my dishwasher is getting delivered and installed.
Oh, congratulations! The listeners are going to want to know that because it broke around Black Friday, so I'm sure everybody is waiting for an update.
There, well, here it is,
definitely
January 8th. But anyway, like I think the piece that people miss in any kind of sales thing in social media, because they're like, oh, social media, blah blah blah, is the actual like engagement and the connection that you make. Yeah. It's not just about the content that you're putting out. No. It's so much more about the connection that you're making, not only what you're receiving, but like you're saying, Allie, like you're responding to other people's stories, not necessarily, like, obviously they're DMing you, but like their stories, you're commenting on their posts, you're interacting with them. And I think that's the key that takes people to the next level when they're trying to quote unquote sell or get people to like them on social media.
Well, that's how I'm making friends on Instagram.
Right.
And those are the people who are turned into my clients, because I kind of like wear people down. Like the first couple times, they're like, I don't know you. When I'll say something on their story, they'll be like, you know, they won't like say anything back. But eventually we'll get like a little kind of banter going. And then eventually they are my Instagram friend. Haha. And then eventually we're going out to coffee. You know what I mean? Eventually we find out what we have in common. And eventually I'm inviting them to one of my events. You know? Like that is how the friendships are made. And even there are weeks where I'm like, oh geez, I didn't even post anything. But I'm still, if I'm on my couch, I am in the stories. I'm DMing people, and I'm also always pretty active in my stories because you can get like a little weird there because it's not like permanent. So I'm like a funny person, and I am funny in my stories. And
I think this would be a good time for you to tell everybody where they can follow you.
I am Alley in Raleigh, Alley in Raleigh. And it was just a nice life coincidence that my name rhymes with my city. It has served me well as far as being memorable. But yeah, I've made so many nice friends on Instagram, and a lot of them have turned into clients. And the key is just, you can't just keep them on Instagram forever. You got to invite them to things and get to know them.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, it's social media. Like you're there to be social. Like you're not just like putting out ads, even though I did just boost an ad the other day. I mean, obviously that's part of it, but those are humans. You're a human, be a human.
Everybody go follow Allie.
Everybody go follow Allie immediately, even if you don't live in Raleigh, because she's amazing and hilarious.
She's a good time. This would be a good time to circle back to the Taylor Swift saga that we went through together.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because I think we've talked about it on the pod, but like now there'll be a face to a name. So Colleen, recant. What happened to us?
So we all know Taylor Swift came to Indianapolis, and we were her last U.S. city. And we were bound and determined, the three of us, bound and determined to get tickets to this concert. And we thought we had a connection. And then we did, but then we didn't. And then one day, my sister texts me, and she was like, hey, my friend is selling her Taylor Swift tickets in Indianapolis. So random. And this friend happened to work, like my sister works in radio. So these are like legit people. And she happened to work for Live Nation. So I was like, oh, obviously, like this is a
perfect
real person.
So
obviously. legit. So I like DM her, or I like Facebook message her. Like, hey, we're interested in the tickets. No, not even that. My sister sent an intro text to us. And I was like, oh, yeah, my sister's interested in these tickets. She lives in Indianapolis. So I'm like, oh, my God, this is fucking legit. We're going to get these tickets. So I text you guys. I'm like, oh, my God, you guys, I've got a hookup for tickets. And they're like, oh, my God. And the speed in which you both sent me $500 was insane. It was literally insane. I literally had $1,000 combined from you guys
just
within
immediately.
Seconds,
immediately.
literal seconds. Cheryl's
no
like,
due diligence,
nothing.
no research.
This is not a discussion with my
you tell
spouse.
me you
I'm
got
just
tickets.
sending the
Here's
money.
$500.
Yeah,
No,
and I was like, great.
I don't care what day it is.
There it is.
Let's go.
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
No
And
questions.
So
you got me a ticket. Here's $500. No problem.
Yeah, so I went to go send the $500 via Venmo to this person, and it didn't work.
Oh no, it was
$1,500. Sorry, $1,500 total. I went to go send it to this person because this is a person that my sister knows. We've been chatting, and I'm like, oh, weird, it didn't work. And she's like, oh, weird. Okay, use this account instead. And I was like, oh, okay, weird. All right. Beep up, beep up, beep up, beep. And I go to like
the red flag.
I go to send it again. And my sister sends me this text message that's like, abort. This is literally, it said abort.
You've been scammed.
She's like, this is a scam. Somebody hacked her her Facebook page and this is a scam. And I was like, oh my God, I almost just lost us $15.
So close. So
literally,
close.
I tried to send it. I literally tried to send. So then I had to like be like, sorry guys, here's your money back.
The amount of times I almost got scammed over Taylor Swift tickets is incredible. And it's always some nice even number. It's always 500
Yeah,
flat.
always $500.
It's always 500 flat. And I always got so close, but there's always some little thing like, oh, try this account and stuff.
Try
It's always
this
some little
way.
thing at the end. Yeah.
I get the 7-Eleven with $500 in gift cards.
Well, I shelled out fucking insane money.
Yeah, well, good for you. You know, you live there. You didn't have to fly and do hotels.
Yeah,
just go.
No.
Yeah. Memories are forever.
It was
but
more
you know
than
what?
$500. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. By the time this pod is out, Cowboy Carter tour will have been announced, and I'm going to that.
Don't snooze on those tickets.
As you should.
Yeah, my final 2 cents about Dream Big and Winners Quit. Because the bottom line of this whole message is that you have to be so ruthless and relentless in your vision of what your future self can have, that is what drives you to take the leap, to do the big quit, and to jump off that cliff, and to leave whatever constructs you've made for yourself so you can create that new life. But if you don't have complete faith in that Delulu, if you don't see it for yourself, then it's not going to happen. And no one else is going to see it. And it might seem insane on paper, but you have to be the one with that vision for yourself. And it all stems from that. And it is only Delulu till you make it true Lulu. And like, that's the bottom line.
Okay.
That is and it's so true too, because I think there are, and this is what's I think interesting, Cheryl, and then I'll let you, sorry, I jumped in on you. But I think this is what differentiates, one, high achievers, and two, entrepreneurs, right? Like there are so many people who are willing to stay in their like mediocre 9-to-5 or their miserable 9-to-5 or their regular paycheck, even if they're miserable, because they don't have that bigger picture look. They don't have that big dream of what could my life look like if I could just do X, Y, and Z or whatever, you know? And I think it's just such a special thing that I don't know that everybody has, but everybody can have it. You just have to be completely insane, I think. You just have to be delusional.
Well, so that book that I've invited you to book club with me, I'm currently reading Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy. I think it is 10 times is easier than 2 times. And one of the very first quotes that stuck out, and then I shared yesterday with my Inspire Her Collective group, is that an unreasonable goal by yourself might feel unreasonable, but an unreasonable goal in the presence of other people with unreasonable goals suddenly makes your goal feel reasonable. So like it goes back to the whole idea of, you know, we're better together and a rising tide lifts all ships. And like you are the sum of the people that you spend the most time with. So if you are surrounding yourself with other people who are delulu and shooting for the stars and taking the shots, then what you're doing is going to feel so much more attainable than if you weren't with those people.
And it might even not be entrepreneurship. Maybe it's you just hate your 9-to-5 and you want a different 9-to-5, or like your manager sucks, or you just want to be in a different industry, or you've always dreamed about whatever. But it literally, it all starts with the dream. And if you can't like let yourself dream it and see it and like feel how good it would feel to like be that future self, then you're never going to do it. Like it has to start with that like fantasizing about future you, and you have to have faith that you can create it. And these big quit moments all start with seeing that vision and saying, I'm going to launch myself off this cliff, and then I'm going to have to make it happen.
And you trust yourself, trust yourself to do it. So I remember, and I know I've shared this before on the podcast, but when I was in my last toxic job and she was like, are you going to get it done? Talking about the annual incentive thing. And my response was, I'll tell you what, I will bet on myself 100% of the time. And I did.
And
I fucking quit. I quit because I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want to chase your fucking dream and your goal. I'm here for my dream. I'm working for me and my family now. And I trust that I'll be able to do it because I'm Delulu and I have that extreme confidence that we don't know where
Yeah.
it's from.
But no one is going to believe in it like you are.
Right.
No one. And so you cannot look out, you can't look outwardly for like that vote
Yeah.
of confidence. Like maybe your besties, like, and I have like my, like, you know, you guys, and like I have my power people
Yeah.
now, but like
Yeah.
truly, no one might see it, but like you have to
Mm-mm.
see it. And like you might not
Yeah.
end up here. Like it might be like shoot for the moon, land among the stars kind of thing, but you will get closer. But I had two things in my mind when I launched my team and left the team I was on to start my own. One of them was bet on yourself. And the other one in my head was start before you're ready.
Yep.
Start
Yeah.
before you're ready. Because number one, I
Yep.
was ready.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
number two, the only way you get ready is by just doing it. Like you can't like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you don't get the experience of the job until you do the job.
Right.
You just have to
Yeah.
launch yourself off that cliff and make yourself do it.
Well,
And
and what
that's
we
why
know
winners quit.
from being surrounded
Yeah.
currently by like the C executives and the business owners, what we've learned is like, we're all in the same boat. We're all just fucking
Nobody knows what they're doing.
trying to figure it out. Yeah. No one knows what the fuck
Yeah.
we're doing. We're all just doing it, which is kind of the, crux of the title is we're doing this right. Right. We don't fucking know,
Right.
but we're going to trial
Yeah.
and error and we're going to just one foot in front of the other every day, keep trusting yourself and like lean into the intuition, believe in the alignment. Like when you're in flow, the universe is telling you you're doing something right.
I
And
think
just
too, one of
see
the
it.
things, yeah, see it. But one of the things that also like helps me is that, and maybe this is funny or not, but I'm like, I see people doing amazing things all day long and they're fucking idiots. So if they can do it, so can I. I use that all the time, right? Like if you think about this, like this is like if that fucking guy can do it, absolutely I can do it. Like that is the confidence thing. That's the Delulu thing. That's whatever it is,
that
right?
like kept me afloat when I
Yes.
started as an agent, and I was so convinced I'd had this bombshell first year and I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is one of the things that kept me afloat, that there are some dinguses out there making six figures, and if they are doing it, I can do it. They are not smarter than me. They're not more charming. They are just, they've been in it longer. They might be more connected. Maybe they're from here, whatever.
Yep.
Good for them. I'm not tearing them down. Good for them.
Nope.
But if they can do it, I can do it. So
Right.
that was one of the things that kept me afloat. And the other thing is, like, if your first year doesn't shake out like you thought it is, you do not lose until you quit. That is the other thing that kept me going. You do not lose until you quit. So no, my first year wasn't Blockbuster. And to be honest, my second year wasn't Blockbuster either. But in my head, you have not lost until you quit. Just keep going. Keep making plays. Keep making plays.
That's what sets the successful people apart from the non-successful people. And since you're like dream big and quit big, yes, but don't quit on the dream and the thing that you want. Quit on the shit that's not working.
No. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think it's the consistency part of it, right? Like, I've been here 3.5 years now. And every client that I have had so far, I felt like I've had to earn. I've had to go out there and earn it and go for it. And I cannot tell you in the last week how many clients have just come to me. In the last week, I've got 5 listing appointments set up in this last week of people that just came to me in that such a weird turnaround of, oh my God, I didn't, but all of those people were either referrals for relationships that I've been working on for years, or people that have followed me for years, or people that I met a year ago and I've nurtured them or whatever, right? But so I have gone out and quote unquote gotten them, but it's like there is a turning point when you start when you do things consistently and they feel hard and they are hard. There is a turning point where you start to see some of this pay off. And I think the tricky part is now I have to keep just doing the things I was doing before and not stopping those, even though it's starting to feel a little bit easier.
And keep being
right?
yourself and putting yourself out there. Yeah, because the big quit thing, it isn't quit because it's hard. That's not what the quit's about. The quit is about you quit when it is not in alignment with who you want to be, when it's making you sick, when your body is
Mm-hmm.
just screaming at you that this is wrong,
Yep.
when it just is making you hate your life. Like that's what the quit's about, not because it's hard,
Right.
you know?
I always use this metric of like, um, this is not what I want my life to look like. Right.
Hmm.
Like if I think about my life, even when we moved here, or when I, was pregnant and quit my job and didn't have anything else to go to. So I had to just build a business. It stemmed from, this is not the life that I want to have for myself. And this is not the life that I want to have for my children. So what do I need to do to switch that? And how do I design my life? Our slogan for our construction company was build your best life. And that is something that I'm always trying to do, right? Like, what is the life that I want? And what are those crazy Delulu things? Like, I've been dreaming of going to Greece since 2017. And before it was like an impossible thing to do. And now we're going to go this year. Like it just, and I'm also gotten to a point where I'm among women like you who are like, yeah, of course you're going, duh. Why wouldn't you? That's obvious,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, it's funny because like I used to think that like daydreaming was this like stupid thing I did, and it was this like silly girly thing I did. And it wasn't actually until we took that like Clifton Strengths assessment, and our number one strength, both me and Colleen, was what was
Yeah.
it? Futuristic, I think they is how they phrased it,
Yours was
which is being
yours
a
was
dreamer.
futuristic. Mine was activator. Yeah. My
Yeah,
number
and I
2 is
think ours was
futuristic.
swapped, and my number two
Yep.
was activator. But
Yep.
futuristic, as in it literally was that, like seeing the
Yeah.
vision for the future. And I remember sitting on the train in New York City on the subway, like doing my commute, and I put on headphones and I would just sit there and I would picture what I wanted, and it was like fantasizing. It was just like daydreaming, and it wasn't even like some exercise or like, I mean, it was a manifestation exercise in retrospect, but it wasn't
Right.
intentional at that point. It just felt good, like it was an escape. I was in the smelly
Yeah.
subway. I just sit there and like picture this job I wanted, or picture this life I wanted, and like that was like my like hobby. And in
I love it.
retrospect, I think that like propelled me in a lot of ways. And now I'm like, man, take the time to do that. Like I miss having like I mean, I don't actually miss having a subway commute, but in some ways I do, because it forced this like dead time to
Yep.
just sit there,
That's
and I used it to dream. And the dreaming is point blank number one thing that makes you make big changes and propel. The dream big is the
and
first
that's
step of the big quits.
That's like Cheryl when Cheryl says, don't let me take a shower because I'll come out with like 47 business ideas, right? It's
Yeah.
that moment where it's that time where you allow your mind to just almost like clear and think freely, right? However it
Yeah, I
needs to
think that was
be.
part of it too, because there was no cell phone service in the subway. You couldn't like
Yep.
diddle your
Yep.
Instagram. Your phone was dead. You
Yeah.
had your music,
Yep.
which was key, because otherwise, you get some weirdo to talk to you. You had your
Yeah.
mind in your headphones. And that's it.
And that's
And
it.
that's some powerful shit. Actually, thinking about that time makes me think I need to carve that out more. And
It's like every time I get sick and I actually have to like lay in bed quietly,
yeah,
I come out on the other end with a million ideas and so excited. And like the rest is what I think probably working moms are missing, is we're not having
Mm-hmm.
the time to rest and like it's important for so many reasons, obviously physically, but mentally, and like giving yourself time to dream. I don't have a lot of time
hmm,
to dream right now. I'm just kind of doing, because I'm also an activator, but I do need
yeah,
the time to dream, which I keep thinking I'm going to journal, or I'm going to, do those things, because I think that also allows that stream of consciousness to flow.
yeah. Being
When I was
forced
in
to do that was so
Mexico,
good.
I was in Mexico last week, whenever that was, or week, two
I
weeks
felt
ago,
like you were there
whatever.
for weeks.
I
Maybe
know.
that's
I
just
was
me
there
on
for
my
so
Instagram. Like, do you live there now? Can I
I
come?
live in Mexico now, Ole. I did get to practice my Spanish, and everyone spoke Spanish to me. And my husband is actually Mexican, and everyone just thought he was a white man.
He's
Is because he looks like one. But I got this massage on my birthday, which was like phenomenal. But literally, as I was laying there, I was like, "Oh my god, I have a new business idea." oh my God, there's a gap here that somebody that I've been looking for to help me with this thing, and there's a gap and this business doesn't exist. Oh my God, maybe I should do that business. Oh my God, I'm going to reach out to this guy. Oh my God, there's a house for sale, blah, blah, blah. And it's like $20 million. I'm going to sell that house. You know who I'm going to call to sell that house to? Like my brain was just like creatively thinking, not of like, do I need to do the dishes? Do I need to pick up the kids from? It was like creatively thinking of these like strategic ways to achieve things that I want to achieve. It was incredible.
Massage is good. Can't diddle your Instagram on
Bullshit.
the table.
Bullshit. I do it all the
Cheryl does. Cheryl doesn't
You do?
the massage the way you're supposed to.
Yeah, I do it wrong. I get one every
She does
3
it wrong.
weeks. It's like an inflammation
Checking emails?
part of my. Oh, I'm checking emails. I'm getting shit done.
She's
Occasionally taking
texting.
phone
She's
calls.
emailing.
Oh my God. I
It's
try
a
to
shit
like
show.
become a vegetable. I'm like, lay into your feeling center. But maybe I don't need to be my feeling center. I should just let my mind go
Mm.
and scheme. I just love scheming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do massages wrong. I'm a
That's
trainer.
good stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Oh
This
my
is the
gosh.
Well,
session.
thank you for letting me come record my motto of the story. Because that's the motto.
It's so
There's
fabulous.
some good gems in this last 15 minutes. This might be a 2-part
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
Well,
let's do it.
This
Part 2.
is, yeah, that's just what I wanted people to take away. Otherwise, it's just me yapping about my life, which I mean, might
like
be
that,
funny,
though.
but
It was also fun.
everyone dream big and quit what sucks.
Yep. It's not in alignment. It's not for you.
Yeah.
All right. Keep doing it right, you guys.
Bye.
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 That's a wrap. Thank you for joining us on this journey of laughter, life, and growth.
And remember, you're not alone on this path to success. We're right here with you every step of the way.
Please remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you found value in today's conversation, we'd be thrilled if you would leave us a review on your favorite platform. Your feedback means the world to us.
And don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, family, and anyone who could use a good laugh and some practical insight into navigating the challenges and triumphs of our minds, body, soul, and business.
Remember, we're doing this right.